Hi, I'm Eli,
Robin.
And I'm Esther.
I'm Haley.
and today we're going to teach you about the Cingulate Gyrus and the Corpus Callosum. We're going to start today with the Cingulate Gyrus. It is actually located in the limbic lobe, located in the middle of each of this cerebral hemispheres. So if you were to cut the brain in half, you would be right there. It's also it actually surrounds the Corpus Callosum, which we will get to a little bit later.
So, I'm on functions, and just beware that I cannot say gyrus, so I'm just not going to try. So the Cingulate gyrus, I wonder if I said it, is part of the limbic system, and it has functions in emotion and pain. It controls fears and predicting negative consequences, which in turn aids in memory and self-regulation. So what that means is when you're a kid and you're riding your bike and you unknowingly just went over this giant pothole, flipped the bike and smashed your face. So you have now created a fear, pain, memory thing. And so you're riding your bike a little bit older, maybe years later down the road, and you see that pothole, and that the Cingulate gyrus will relight that memory and tell you, nope, that's bad, let's not do that. So you avoid the pothole and move on with your life.
So what if the Cingulate gyrus is damaged? What are the impacts? So one of it is you have inappropriate emotions, like you have uncontrolled episodes of crying and laughing, and the other one is you lack fear, and the last one is learning impairment, where you can't concentrate or you can't understand what is being taught in school.
So some of the cognitive disorders that go along with the Cingulate gyrus are usually emotional disorders, because the Cingulate gyrus controls emotions and emotional processing. So some of the disorders we have are autism, depression, schizophrenia, PTSD, and obsessive compulsive disorder. So as an example, kids with autism usually have a hard time showing their emotions or being able to read other people's emotions, because that part of their brain just doesn't work as well. With autism, it can be taught. These kids can learn usually how to show their emotions and how to learn emotions better. And another example is the obsessive compulsive disorder. So that kind of goes into the inappropriate emotions sector, I guess. So they can't necessarily control their impulses that they have or the things that they want or need. They can't control that. They can't tell themselves, I don't need this. I don't actually need this. They cannot control that part.
Next is the Corpus Callosum. This consists of a large bundle of fibers that connects both hemispheres, and the Corpus Callosum, like I said earlier, is surrounded by the Cingulate gyrus, and the substructure of that is a splenium.
Okay, so the function of the Corpus Callosum is it allows information to transfer between the two hemispheres, and so body movements are contralateral. So that means the right side of the hemisphere controls my left side of the body. The left side will control my right side of the body. It also performs specific cognitive and perceptual functions, such as integrating motor, sensory, and cognitive info to the contralateral sides of the cerebral cortex.
And when the corpus callosum is damaged, a person goes on a coma or vegetative state. And there's also memory impairment, where there's decline in memory or thinking skills. And also there's mutism, which is anxiety disorder. You're not able to speak at certain times, where you're always speaking really well.
There's also split brain syndrome, where it is a disconnection syndrome, where there was an injury either to the corpus callosum, or it was severed. This actually, what it does is it separates the two hemispheres, and each one tries to move and work independently on their own, involuntary movement or perceptual difficulties.
So some of the cognitive disorders that go along with the corpus callosum, there's two sections. So reductions in size, because you had an accident, you had to get part of it taken out, or maybe you were born with it that way, or maybe you were born with it completely gone. Some of the disorders that go along with that are schizophrenia. That goes back into the inappropriate emotions and not being able to control episodes of emotion or psychotic episodes. Some abnormalities associated with like the shape of the corpus callosum are Alzheimer's, which go back to the memory impairment. And then we also have ADHD, which goes back to the learning impairment. So, kids with ADHD sometimes have a hard time learning or concentrating. And then there's other non-cognitive disorders. And the last piece of information that I found was a disease or a condition called ACC, or agenesis of the corpus callosum. So this actually happens when the fetus is developing in the womb and the corpus callosum does not develop correctly. And the only way to really tell is via ultrasound, or when the child is born and becomes, older, and you can see these patterns of the issues that are associated with agenesis of the corpus callosum.
That's it.